All right, friends, we're all warmed up. But before we can get started on your own individual art, let's explore a few concepts together. Now, there's 3 things you should probably know for this assignment. The first thing is mark making. The second thing is shape making. And the third thing is color picking. Now let's start at the top. What is mark making? Let me grab my tool. So mark making represents the act of making a mark on paper. Literally, it's that simple. Now, different marks can represent different things. If we have a smooth, straight line, maybe that gives us the idea of stability. If we have a flowing line, that might make us think of calmness or serenity. If we have lots of little jagged lines, that might indicate some sort of tension. We can also make sharp lines, kind of like the zigzag. That might represent anger or a very heightened state of emotion. You can also do different things like line weights, where I have a thin line and then I have a really thick line to represent different things. Now let's go over to shape making. Shape making is really fun because different shapes can represent different emotions. Let's try out a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. A circle makes me think of things that are complete or whole, kind of like happiness. Let's make a triangle. The pointy sides of the triangle can kind of make me think of anger, but sometimes it also just makes me think of balance. Let's try a rectangle. I love rectangles. Rectangles make me feel stability. They make me feel like everything's right in the world. What kind of shape can you make up to convey a different emotion? Don't forget abstract shapes. These are shapes that could be anything you want. Sometimes we can use a combination of a regular shape, like a rectangle, and then add abstract forms to it to make a whole new shape that is our creation. Now let's talk about color. I like to choose different kinds of colors, but each color can represent a different emotion and it's completely subjective. Like when I use blue. What does that make you feel? I look at blue and I think of serenity. Some people might think of sadness. Now let's use yellow. Oh, I love that yellow. That yellow is so bright, it makes me think of sunflowers, and that reminds me of feeling happy, like when I'm outside. Now let's try out red. I use jagged lines in my red, kind of like we talked about up here, in order to represent anger or maybe a frenzied emotion, like maybe I'm super excited or something. It really is up to you. Now, you can incorporate all 3 things together in order to engage with this lesson. So I'll make a red triangle full of jagged lines that are very thick, and maybe that represents anger to me. Let's try it out.